Good Thursday afternoon, America. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Welcome to the Spin Room. Do we have a show for you today? We're digging deep this half hour on President Trump's executive order on Krebs. Yesterday, the president signed an executive order to address the risks from Krebs and government censorship. Here's the moment that was signed.
Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA. This is a man who weaponized his position against free speech in the election context, in the context of COVID-19. This is it's a similar presidential memorandum to the one you just signed. It addresses his access to government, existing clearances he might have, and further instructs your Department of Justice, other aspects of your government, to investigate some of the malign acts that he participated in while he was still head of CISA.
This is another one. I don't know that I met him. I'm sure I met him, but I didn't know him. And he came out right after the election, which was a rigged election, a badly rigged election. We did phenomenally in that election. Look what happened to our country because of it. Open borders, millions of people coming into our country. Russia and Ukraine, that would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. Afghanistan, the way they withdrew with 13 dead, but so many killed, actually. I mean, so many killed outside of the 13 soldiers, hundreds of people killed. And maybe, I don't know, never mentioned, but I mentioned it, 42 or 43 people so badly injured, the legs, the arms blown off, the face. And this is all because of an incompetent group of people that preceded us, and that would have never happened.
Krebs was an aide in the president's first administration. He served as the director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Well, that falls under the Department of Homeland Security. When the 2020 election was stolen, as we all believe that it was, the White House says that he was, quote, a bad faith actor who weaponized and abused the government authority. The White House says he suppressed conservative viewpoints under the guise of combating supposed misinformation. The White House also says he recruited and coerced major social media platforms to further its partisan mission. That's right there. What you're looking at is coming from the White House. Going on to say he promoted the censorship of election information. Well, we dug deep, and here he is in a 60 Minutes interview after the 2020 election.
It's completely and utterly surreal. None of these lies have been substantiated to any extent. Every single one of them has been debunked.
Krebs was director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, charged with protecting the 2020 election. He called it the most secure election in American history, and days later was fired by President Trump.
How secure was the 2020 election? Let me put it this way. It was the most litigated. It was the most scrutinized. It was the most audited. This election was put through the ringer from so many different directions. There's no evidence that any machine that I'm aware of has been manipulated by a foreign power. Period.
Communist money from China and Cuba used to influence the election.
Look, I think we can go on and on with all the farcical claims that alleging interference in the 2020 election, but the proof is in the ballots. The recounts are consistent with the initial count, and to me, that's further evidence, that's confirmation that the systems used in the 2020 election performed as expected, and the American people should have 100% confidence in their vote.
Well, they don't. In a statement from the White House, it says Krebs falsely and basely denied that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen, including dismissing widespread serious vulnerabilities with voting machines. So President Trump, he's directed the Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security to review Krebs' activities as a government employee. Well, just think about what he just said. He claims, as far as he knows, there was no evidence. But Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, she said this just moments ago.
I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections.
Well, there you have it. Tulsi Gabbard saying right there, she has the best of the best on these investigations, and they have found evidence of some type of tampering and that we should go to paper ballots. As you know, Mike Lindell has been talking about the dangers of Krebs for years now. Mike is out having surgery, but he did release this on his social media page saying, quote, "We have to melt down the voting machines, turn them into prison bars, and put election criminals like Chris Krebs behind them." He then put a link to his website. We encourage you all to go to lindellplan.com. And we will continue following this executive order here on Lindell TV. All the latest information can be found right here. And there's the website you can go to follow lindellplan.com. In other news, we're still tracking the market. The stock market is giving investors whiplash. Day after day, goes up and down, and you're looking at the latest numbers right now. Down, the Dow is, the S&P 500 is, and the NASDAQ is as well. After a great day yesterday, now is a good time as ever to invest in gold and silver. You'll hear us say this all the time here on Lindell TV because it's true. And we have good friends over at Fisher Gold who are willing to help you during these times. As you know, the national debt has skyrocketed for the last 4 years under the Biden administration. Many of you, so many Americans had to save and dip into your savings because you just couldn't afford day-to-day necessities. So that's why we encourage you to go to lindellgold.com. Go there, MikeLindellGold.com, that is, MikeLindellGold.com. He's on the front of the homepage. It's endorsed by Mike Lindell. Representatives are waiting to hear from you right now. They want to help you, and so we're going to continue to tell you about them because they're great people who want to help you save. So the experts are there, standing by, waiting to hear from you. Go to MikeLindellGold.com. As a reminder, for qualifying orders, you could get a free coin and up to $20,000 in free silver. Now, all of this is going on because China isn't cooperating with an even playing field, that is, when it comes to fair trade or tariffs. That was brought up today in a cabinet meeting. Here's National Security Advisor Mike Waltz.
Mr. President, last year, the Chinese received 1,700 orders for new ships. American shipyards received 5. Under your leadership, like so many other industries, we are going to revitalize and make shipbuilding and maritime great again with these blue-collar jobs. These are the cranes, the ports, opportunity zones, and drive that investment back in. And we have, under that executive order, and also one to streamline foreign military sales for people that want to buy our equipment, and of course acquisition reform, all just this week under your leadership, Mr. President.
So we're going to be rebuilding our shipbuilding business. We may order, would have to go to Congress for this, but we may buy some ships from other countries that we're close to and that do great jobs with ships, but we're going to start the process of rebuilding. We don't really essentially build ships anymore, which is ridiculous. It's going to be a very big business for us in the not too distant future, but in the meantime, we have countries that do very well at building ships, and we'll be dealing with those countries, and we may be ordering top-of-the-line ships from those countries, and within a fairly short period of time, we'll be building our own ships. So we'll probably have to go to Congress for that, but we're not going to have a problem.
All right, again, mentioning that China is not playing fair when it comes to tariffs. Other countries have, at least 70 countries have come forward to President Trump and telling them they want to cooperate with the fair trade. Howard Lutnick says all other countries have shown respect to the United States.
So we have so many countries to talk to. It is it's incredible. I think Scott and I, I'm not sure we could ever have enough time in the day to talk to all these countries because they want to talk and they want to talk now. And they have come with offers that they never ever would have come with, but for the moves that the president has made, demanding that people treat the United States with respect. We're getting the respect we deserve now, and I think you're going to see historic deals, one after the other. And then I'm very excited that within a week and a half, we're going to start with the gold card, and the Trump card is coming out, and we're very excited about that, and that's coming soon. So very excited.
Thank you very much. Good job.
What the left wants you to focus on is the stock market, but when it comes to the economy, we're doing very well. Prices are going down. The president says we're right on target and doing very well. Take a listen.
We had a very good meeting. We're talking about a lot of different things. Consumer prices have actually dropped. There's very little inflation. Everybody predicted a lot of inflation, very little inflation. Energy costs are down. Interest rates are probably down. They scatter, but they're probably down. Prescription drug prices are even to down. We're doing very well. It's been amazing. We had a big day yesterday. There'll always be transition difficulty, but we had in history, it was the biggest day in history, the markets. So we're very, very happy with the way the country's running. We're trying to get the world to treat us fairly. This is something that should have been done 25 years ago, and it wasn't. Should have been done 40 years ago, and it wasn't. But no president was willing to take it on, but you had to. It's not sustainable. It wasn't sustainable.
And the House voted and passed the president's budget resolution, the SAVE Act. Now the bill is being drawn up and heading to the president's desk to sign. In it, requiring proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. Now, I know a lot of you are aware of the autism pandemic going on in our country right now. The rise is alarming. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is investigating and says we'll have answers by September. He was also part of the cabinet meeting just minutes ago. Take a listen to what he says about the autism pandemic.
And we are going, at your direction, we are going to know by September. We've launched a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world. By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
So big. Think of that. So it was 1 in 10,000 children had autism, and now it's 1 in 31. Not 31,000, 31. That's a horrible statistic, isn't it? And there's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that. So that's it. If you can come up with that answer, where you stop taking something, you stop eating something, or maybe it's a shot, but something's causing it. It can't be from 10,000 to. Can you imagine that, Marco? That's a big number. Thank you very much. You're doing great. Thank you, Bobby.
And all the parents out there are celebrating that news today. As President Trump just mentioned, 1 in 31 children in America right now are being diagnosed with autism. Huge number compared to 1 in 4 out of 10,000 in the 1980s. Something isn't right, and we'll know by September. The Make America Healthy Again Commission is dedicating to finding answers and the root cause. Now, on the topic of MAHA, the White House is slamming the New York Times on a story of fluoride that they put out. In the article, the White House says they portrayed Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s review of fluoride recommendations as anti-health and anti-science. Well, here are the key facts about fluoride. Fluoride is the only chemical added to drinking water that does not treat the water. It is added to water only for medicinal purposes. Also, most industrialized nations, including much of Europe, do not add fluoride to their water. So no fluoride in countries like Europe. And it has had no discernible deterrent of dental health. So they've seen no negative effects. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention now concedes that fluoride's predominant dental benefit comes from topical contact with the outside of the teeth, not ingestion, making it unnecessary to ingest fluoride. Also, in August of last year, the Department of Health and Human Services National Toxicology Program, they concluded with moderate confidence that fluoride in water at just 1.5 milligrams is consistently associated with lower IQ in children. The White House really hitting hard on this. Now, recent studies of CDC's National Health and Nutrition Examination surveys have found significant associations between low levels of fluoride and various indicators of chronic disease, including reduced testosterone levels in boys, increased inflammation, altered kidney and liver function, and increased sleep problems. Those are the facts right there. Kennedy is determined to making what we put in our bodies safer and healthier, from food to water to vaccinations, from children to the elderly. America is unhealthy, and the Trump administration is committed to making America healthy again. Now back to savings. As we just mentioned, the spending bill passed the House. Savings are coming under DOGE investigations. All of those investigations we've been telling you about, those savings are coming there as well. Now, when it comes to Social Security, the left wants you to believe that the president is cutting your benefits, but that's not the case. What's true is he's finding fraud, a lot of it, and cutting out that fraud. Let's go to White House correspondent Allison Steinberg with more on this. Allison, good to see you.
And then the Tulsi one.
Hi, Vanessa. Great to see you too.
37 seconds is fine.
So let's talk about that. You know, the illegals getting Social Security benefits. What can you tell us?
Yes, Vanessa, roughly 4 million illegal aliens, as it turns out, were receiving Social Security benefits. This was uncovered, of course, courtesy of Elon Musk and the DOGE team that has been working so tirelessly to uncover the massive waste, fraud, and abuse that has taken place within the country. But I think this just proves that the waste, fraud, and abuse is far worse than what many of us even suspected. I mean, the fact that these illegal aliens were given Social Security benefits should outrage every American. But the irony here is that the left-wing liberal mainstream media has actually skewed the narrative so radically into their viewership to make them think that they are at risk of losing their Social Security benefits. So they think the left is trying to say that Trump is the one who's this big bad bully who's going to take away their Social Security benefits, when in reality, that couldn't be further from the truth. Trump has stated multiple times he's going to fight on behalf of Americans. He's going to secure Social Security. He's not going to let anything happen to it. What the left needs to be concerned about, if they're worried about losing their Social Security benefits, is the fact that Democrat leadership has allowed aliens to come into our country and given them the Social Security benefits that Americans have paid into and are entitled to. So this is just highly disturbing. Again, it should really outrage every American, and I'm grateful to Elon Musk and the DOGE team for uncovering these huge numbers, because again, this is 4 million aliens. We have to assume, you know, there's probably at least double that number that came in here, if not more, that have been documented. It's, you know, been said 10 to 15 million. So there's still a lot more work to be done in regards to these aliens and these foreign terrorist organizations that have come through our border and run rampant throughout America now, unfortunately.
And, you know, I go back, Allison, to President Trump in his joint address to Congress when he said that they have uncovered Social Security benefits going to people over 100 years old, 200 years old, over 250 years old, and our country is only 250 years old. And President Trump said then there are people getting Social Security benefits who are older than our country. Who do you know that's 250 years old? I don't know anybody 250 years old, do you?
I guess the same people receiving Social Security benefits are the same ones who voted for Biden in the stolen election. But yeah, it's just absurd, the fact that this has been happening for so long. It's just ridiculous. Obviously, someone in our government allowed for this to actually take place. So it just goes to show, you know, what kind of people have been running our country for so long. So again, it's wonderful that this is being uncovered and exposed now, but it's got to be put to a stop immediately. I mean, Americans don't deserve this. They deserve to, you know, be able to retire on their Social Security that they paid into. And fake people and 200-year-old people, I don't think should be worthy of receiving these benefits. So it's just pure and utter madness.
Absolutely, and I know that they're working diligently to uncover the fraud and get that corrected. Also, no tax on Social Security. I know a lot of Social Security recipients are waiting for that as well, a promise from President Trump. That's going to be nice for them, Allison.
Absolutely, it will be nice for them, and I think it's nice for the American people to be reassured that President Trump and his administration is working tirelessly day in and day out to rid the country of these illegals that have infiltrated. I mean, this affects everyone if you think about it. I mean, the resources and benefits that Americans have are strained because of all of the money that's being given to these illegal aliens. It takes away from jobs and opportunities here for American citizens. So the harder the Trump administration works to remove these people from the country, the better off we will all be. Of course, there's the obvious too, like the crime and violence will go down substantially, which we've already seen, massive numbers there in deportation. So it is of the utmost importance to get these people out immediately. And I know that President Trump and his administration have said it's a whole government approach, all hands on deck to work to get this done and remove these people once and for all, because they are so deeply entrenched, unfortunately, within the country. And now we have sanctuary cities pushing back, saying that they're not going to cooperate with ICE to protect the aliens, which I just find comical. Like, we have a great leader in office who's working to restore America, make our country safe again, do everything he can to truly serve the American people. And then we have crazy radical leftist Democrats pushing back in every capacity that they can to try to protect these leftist policies that do nothing but harm people and put Americans in the way of dangerous, violent criminals. So this is happening right now in New Jersey. New Jersey has recently just come out and said they will not be cooperating with ICE. So it's very concerning, and I hope to see President Trump act or do something in regards to this. If I ever get a question in that briefing room, I'll be sure to ask, because that is not fair to the residents of New Jersey.
Absolutely not. And we're going to be talking a lot about New Jersey coming up on the Mike Lindell show. And I really want to, you have Alina Habba there now, really cracking down on what's going on. New Jersey is in play, and it is a focal point for the midterms coming up and, of course, the next federal election. But again, criminal activity is going on everywhere, and you talk a lot about the border and these people crossing the border. Well, we forget about the northern border as well. They're coming in from there, and also the southern border, of course. But every state is a border state now, not just the southern states. So all the states are a border state now. We're really going to focus on New Jersey in just a little bit. Allison, I want to talk to you more on that coming up in the Mike Lindell show about this, because Social Security going to illegal immigrants is a concern. It's not fair. You have your American people who have worked their entire careers and their lives for these Social Security benefits, and it's coming and going to fake people who are up to 250 years old, and also illegal aliens. It's just not fair.
It sure is not fair at all, Vanessa. So it's good to see that, Elon Musk and Doge is exposing this. For a bit of good news, the acting head of the IRS did just step down. This is another interesting story. ICE actually demanded in an agreement that the IRS provide the names of the aliens that were receiving many of these benefits so that they could do a cross-examination between the undocumented illegals and their tax filings via ICE. And this acting head, Melanie Krause, is, I guess, just so woke. She was so trying so hard to protect these aliens that she decided that she'd rather resign and step down than put forth this information that could actually, help our current government to, make sure that all the boxes are checked here. But no, she would rather work on behalf of the aliens that have infiltrated the country and step down. So I guess that's a win-win for us.
Absolutely, and I love a winning day. Allison, thank you so much for that report, and we'll see you right back here on the Mike Lindell Show.
We'll see you there. Thanks, Vanessa.
And also coming up on the show, the Mike Lindell Show, in about half an hour, we'll sit down with Mike Crispy, who is a New Jersey delegate for the Trump administration. We'll talk again about the illegal activity going on there and also the efforts to flip Jersey red. We did very well in the 2024 election, much better than 2020. There's a big upward trend going on right now in New Jersey, and so we are keeping a close eye on that state and expecting some big wins in the future there. Again, we'll talk to Mike Crispy, a New Jersey delegate for the Trump administration, coming up in about a half hour, so don't miss that right here on Lindell TV. We do have something new for you here on Spin Room. Charges are finally being filed on Ryan Routh. That's the man who tried to assassinate President Trump on a golf course in Florida. The Florida Attorney General made this announcement just moments ago.
I'm Attorney General James Uthmeyer. On September 15, 2024, Ryan Routh attempted to assassinate then presidential candidate Donald J. Trump at the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach. Shortly after the assassination attempt, Governor DeSantis signed an executive order directing the Office of Attorney General to work with our law enforcement partners and investigate Mr. Routh. After 206 days of stonewalling by the federal government that stemmed from days of the Biden administration, I'm able to now announce that my office is charging Mr. Routh for the attempted first-degree murder of President Trump, as well as a charge for terrorism. My office, as well as our law enforcement partners, were met with major roadblocks in prosecuting this case during Biden's term. Biden and his attorney general sought to frustrate our efforts and block our investigation into the man who crossed into this state and attempted to commit political violence against a Florida resident. Thank God he was unsuccessful, and thank God we have Donald Trump as president again. The leadership of U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel was instrumental in preserving Florida's sovereign authority to do what is right and bring justice where it is due. We now have a federal government willing to work together to pursue justice. Attempting to take the life of a former president and a leading presidential candidate isn't just an attack on one man. This was a political attack against our Republican form of government and our shared American values. We cannot allow justice to be delayed or denied, and thanks to the President, our U.S. Attorney General, and the FBI Director, we are moving forward in our pursuit. Our statewide prosecutors will work to hold this evil man accountable and keep Florida safe, strong, and free.
And Ryan Routh is being held in a Florida jail. We'll keep you updated on the case against him. As we close out the Spin Room today, we want to remind you that you can check out mypillow.com. Go to mypillow.com. I'll give you my promo code. It's just my name, Vanessa. You can save big. Trust me, Mike Lindell did great on this one. When I typed in my name the very first time, he gave me a promo code. My mouth dropped. I was like, wow, these are huge savings. So I want to pass those savings on to you. Use the promo code Vanessa. You can shop around for great products while you're there. Save big. Check out my store while you're there. There's a link toward the middle of the homepage. There you can find wonderful products made by conservative companies, handpicked by Mike Lindell. So much shopping on so many great products just by logging on to mypillow.com. And that'll do it for us today on the Spin Room. We'll see you right back here at the top of the hour for the Mike Lindell Show.